The baths were like little communities within the city. Many baths contained libraries, food shops, and gardens. The baths of Caracalla, one of the largest public baths, could hold more than 1,500 bathers. For many Romans, rich and poor, the baths were a part of everyday life. Daily life. Life in the country was very different from life in the city. In the country, wealthy landowners owned farms and raised livestock. Slaves toiled in the fields. In the countryside, outside of Rome, farmers grew grapes, olives, and vegetables. Roman provinces, such as Egypt, grew grain to feed the Roman Empire's growing population. Cities relied on the produce in the countryside for its wealth and everyday needs. When Pliny the Elder put up some country property for sale, he wrote, "The property is fertile, rich, and well supplied with water, and consists of meadows, vineyards, and woods that produce an income from timber."
The baths of Caracalla.
Life in the city, however, was hot and overcrowded. Stalls and shops packed the narrow streets. The bustling markets overflowed with vegetables, meats, and animals. The clamor of vendors and peddlers selling everything from puddings to sausages filled the streets. Although some rich Romans lived in townhouses, the majority of Romans lived in cramped apartment buildings. Augustus limited the height of apartment buildings to 5 floors. However, some dishonest property owners built additional floors. These buildings were unsafe and often collapsed or burned down. Art and spectacle. The Romans loved games. For example, both the wealthy and the poor flocked to the Circus Maximus, the largest stadium in ancient Rome, where chariot races were held. During Augustus's rule, 77 days every year were devoted to public games. Races were run on 17 of those days. Spectators cheered on chariots that charged around an oval track.
Marble relief of circus race, 3rd century CE.